Our top story this morning, the guilty verdict for Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. Joining us now with more insight into how this trial played out is ABC 7 legal analyst Gil Soffer. Gil, good morning. I'm not going to ask you if you were surprised because the outcome here was as you predicted yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. And so I wasn't surprised. I think the key issue in the case, even as framed by the defense, was whether Chauvin caused Floyd's death. Once they found that he did, they found that he did on all three counts.
The prosecution, and you said this as well repeatedly, they told the jurors, believe what you see. Do you think this case would have ended differently if we didn't have that video of Chauvin with his knee on George Floyd's neck?
Of course, it's hard to know, but I think it might well have. And the reason is this. Jurors typically cut the slack for police officers on the theory that they have to make split-second decisions. What this video showed so graphically was that this was no split-second decision. It was 9 minutes of torture, and that video makes all the difference in the world.
Gil, the jury deliberated for a little more than 10 hours. What do you make of that?
Well, I think this was likely to go one of two ways. Either they were going to come back quickly, and this is quick, or they would slog through the evidence for days. But given the strength of this evidence, and again, given the power of that video, I think it shows that the evidence was, in fact, as strong as the prosecution said it was.
I know that we don't see police officers often testifying against one of their former colleagues like we saw in this trial. Do you think that's changing, or is this case unique?
Hard to know. I do think we've seen the door crack a little bit on the willingness and ability of police officers to testify against one of their own, at least under extreme circumstances. And these were extreme circumstances.
And then, Gil, as far as sentencing goes, what kind of sentence do you think Chauvin could face here?
Well, he has a potential maximum of 40 years on the most serious charge. The sentence that's called for in the guidelines is more like 12 to 15. But if there are aggravating factors, he could get decades in prison. And those aggravating factors include the crime was committed in the presence of a child, as it was, or there was extreme cruelty used in connection with the crime, and there might well have been. So I think we're going to see a decades-long sentence imposed by the judge.
Chauvin likely going to appeal that conviction. How likely do you think that will be to succeed?
He will certainly appeal the conviction. I think it's very unlikely to succeed because you are likeliest to get a successful appeal when the judge has clearly done something inappropriate, like refused to permit the defense to introduce certain kinds of important evidence. I don't see that happening here. I think he has a very slim chance of success on appeal.
Gil Soffer, always glad for your insight. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC 7 Chicago YouTube channel.